I mean, everybody wants to get double-digit sacks, but for me, I just want to be a total, complete football player. I want to be able to stop the run because we can't rush the pass without stopping the run. And once we do that, then that allows us out of the quarterbacks. But I mean, like I said, I just want to come out here and be the best overall player that I can be every day.
Play fake again. Flacco gets hit this time, and he's going to get sacked. Trayvon Walker got him in the backfield. Second sack of the day for Trayvon. He got him back at the 46-yard line.
I feel like, the sky's the limit for me. I'm just scratching the surface of my potential. And I'm just, me being on the field is what's going to allow me to reach my potential. So that's my focus.
Mills pass is intercepted. It's Tyson Campbell with his second interception of the season.
What up, y'all? It's DeJuan Smoot. I'm back. Smoot Gang is back. What up, Jags fans? Let's get it. Hey, get a Duval on 1, 2, 3. Duval! Let's go.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to all you veterans who are reporting for training camp today on the practice field. Maybe not the first thing, but close to it. Tomorrow morning at about 8:30, they'll be underway. Good morning, Tony Smith. How are you?
Doing well.
Up in the air. We're juggling dates for how often Jaguars Today will be out at training camp. We look forward to any opportunities we have to interact with the great fan base and taking a little football in person. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, looks like we'll be out there on Friday.
Oh, for sure this week.
This week. And
we'll see how it goes.
Week,
I don't know. There's some different dates that are being floated around. I mean, I'll be out there for every practice I can get out there, too. And Tony will have the unenviable task of waiting for me to get back. And come back across the bridge.
Yeah, it's right across the road, basically.
So I'm repping the teal today, right? I got the Jaguar teal golf shirt. You've got the J Fun today. So I look in there, I say, Dylan, what do you got on there? He goes, V-neck.
Just a plain T-shirt.
This V-neck.
V-neck from Malibu.
It was in the top. It was in the top of his drawer, so he grabbed it. And,
it's clean. I said,
that's fine.
wear this today, and out the door I go.
I've mentioned it many times in the past. Oftentimes in college, my clothes had to pass the sniff test because it was the least offensive one coming out of the dirty laundry pile, you know?
Everyone's been there, I assume.
I don't know if they have or not, but if you lived in a dorm, I think you probably did, you know?
Like everyone's done that. You pick it up, you take a sniff and go, it's fine.
Yeah, that's passable.
Yeah,
again,
I can get through another day.
Absolutely. All right, so today is a Tuesday Top 5. We're going to look at Top 5 training camp position battles for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and maybe they're reality or maybe they're just the way we feel about it, Tony. I don't know how realistic the right tackle position is in terms of being open. I would think, look, with few exceptions, you want to have an atmosphere of everything is open, right? That we're truly going to compete, but at the same time, there are monetary factors that come in. Yeah. You know, I don't care how good of a training camp Emmanuel Ogbah has. He's not starting over Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. Who, by the way, just listening to that opening there, Trayvon's been on that good, solid trajectory. We talked yesterday about could you get the deal done with him? What would that look like this offseason? Man, what if he does go out there and he throws together that 17, 18 sack season for this team?
Then he will be, talking about.
Then he'll be crazy expensive. Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about that. I'm just talking about what that kind of impact that would have on the win-loss record of this football team. What would that mean? Okay, so let's say you're getting 7 more sacks than you had last year. That's only 7 plays, but, how many more pressures are you getting on top of that? Because you only get a certain percentage of those pressures. Do you get home and get the sack? What does that mean for Josh Hines-Allen? On the other side, is Trayvon commanding a double team on every snap, and what is that opening up for other guys?
Well, and how it's hard to know right now, even thinking about that going into the future, if it would be Trayvon that does the 17 thing and Josh Hines-Allen is the 10 guy, right? And that's not a whole lot different than 23 was.
Sure.
Right, between the two guys. So there's still the possibility of that.
Like Trayvon goes nuts and Josh, slim down, maybe matches him or goes somewhere, could we have 2 15 sack guys on this team? And I think teams start looking at you differently and and spending a little bit more time in that defensive game plan or that offensive game planning room, I guess, and how to slow those guys down.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to know, how teams actually think. Like, we hear a little bit of it from, like, Tomlin when he'll talk about Trayvon Walker and how much they have to prepare right when they're playing the Jaguars, because they do see the two edge guys and they're a problem. Like, he talks about them being a problem. I think most of the league, when they're getting ready to play the Jaguars, do view it that way. But I also think that they're realistic about they're the only problems, right? Like, there hasn't been anything that threatens you in the middle. So we can choose who we want to double team in any given situation for one of the edge guys and figure it out. Like, someone's going to be on an island at times with one of these guys. Mm-hmm. That's going to be your job this week. It's not going to be the easiest job this week, being on the island against either of these guys. But we don't have to worry about doubling anybody in the middle. We just don't have to worry about it. Just block them. Right? And can Armstead, playing that 3 technique this year, can that change some of that math? Mason Smith in year 2, can he change some of that math for opponents? Because if at any point in time they have to double somebody in the middle of the Jaguars defensive line, freeing up one of or both of those guys on the outside to one-on-one opportunities, that's something that neither of them together have seen, right, in their careers to this point.
Well, and even if it doesn't result in Eric Armstead or Mason Smith or somebody drawing doubles, can they take advantage of the single looks that they get because of the guys on the outside?
Yeah,
However,
you ought to have
works,
somebody that's a 5 or 6 sack guy in the
somebody
middle.
should be winning one-on-one battles up front with as much money as is invested in this defensive line, particularly with those 3 guys. I mean, the big money hasn't hit for Trayvon, but as the number 1 overall pick in the draft, it's the biggest you could pay him currently right now. And,
it's coming. It's
coming in a big way, no doubt about it. Speaking, you mentioned, let's see, Pittsburgh. I think, do the Jags have a preseason game with Pittsburgh?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, right?
August 9th at 7 p.m.
August 9th.
One, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, because tomorrow we're going to have a family 4-pack of tickets to give away to that. That's tomorrow. It doesn't mean you can't listen today. Mm-hmm. You can still listen to the program today. Just wanted to give you extra incentive as you're maybe heading out to training camp tomorrow. Training camp's not going to last, much past 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30. They'll be out there. Probably some guys signing autographs, what have you. Maybe it stretches out till 11 o'clock. So we'll try to save that for the second hour tomorrow of the program and give you an opportunity to get your hands on those.
Yeah.
If you're not planning on going, or maybe if you are planning on going, you can bring more friends with you here. Seeing everywhere you go now, you go to major sports sites, everyone's doing training camp previews, which you would expect, right? And every single one. What are the Jags going to do with Travis Hunter? That's the top storyline in everybody's write-up on what's going to go down. Will he really be a two-way player? This is what D-Rock is asking over at ESPN. And he says, well, there might be doubt around the league. And by the way, just him posing that question doesn't mean he's questioning the Jags' desire to have that happen.
Acknowledging that
here's
this is
the question. Right.
Yeah.
Here's what people want to know. Will Travis Hunter really be a regular two-way player? More than sprinkle in. Yeah, I feel like I went on VSiN on Sunday talking fantasy football, but Travis Hunter came up, and everyone's got their own, I think he's going to be really a defensive player, and they'll sprinkle him in. I'm like, you know what? Great. Okay. You can think anything you like. They're talking plainly that they want to make him a full-time player or as close to that as possible on both sides of the ball, or at least give him the opportunity to sink or swim. Attempting
until
to do
it doesn't work with him playing as much as they can on both sides of the ball, they're going to do it.
And quite frankly, if it doesn't work, then they may have overpaid to get Travis Hunter, unless he is truly like an all-pro level at one of those spots, right? So, as D-Rock said, there might be doubt around the league, but there isn't inside this franchise. They're very confident in this. And, we could sit there and go, come on, you can't. No. This is exactly what the plan is. They didn't have to make this swing, Tony. If they had just stood pat and taken Ashton Genty, that would have been a guy that you would have driven a lot of conversation around. He's going to be the new face of this offense, or at least the new face, one of the faces in the triplets now. Now you've got Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr., and Ashton Genty. And how good can that be? And can Trevor Lawrence live up to the hype surrounding these other two guys? I'm not saying unjustified hype, by the way. D-Rock continued. Hunter's going to play significant snaps on each side of the ball as a rookie. The Jaguars had him spend most of his time on offense in the spring because they feel like that's harder to learn, or at least he needed more work on that side of the ball. He himself, Travis Hunter, said, hey, that defense, I got that. That's easy. Look, that may be giving it a little bit too much of a quick brush over. It's probably a little bit more complex than he made it out to be, but he's comfortable on that side of the ball. So we'll see. Will we get him on both sides tomorrow? They said that he will practice in training camp on both sides. That doesn't mean every single day you're going to see him go full way. You're still ramping up. It doesn't matter. We're still in July, for goodness sakes, right? So we got a ways to go before it actually matters. But anywhere you go online, if you're reading about NFL training camps, you're going to see Travis Hunter listed as one of the biggest storylines in the league, quite frankly, and certainly the number one storyline here in Jacksonville. So we'll get into that today. By the way, D-Rock threw a 53-man roster projection out there at ESPN.com, which will be fun to look at as we talk about training camp position battles and what's going to go down with these guys, because some of the guys that are involved in these battles may not make the 53-man roster this year. It's not just a case of, who's going to start, who's going to be the first man off the bench. I saw a few people go a little outside the box. I don't know how your list looks, Tony. I don't know how Dylan's looks. But somebody said, for instance, they had one with Luke Fortner and Jonah Monheim. It's a battle to see who makes the roster as the backup there. So not a position battle in the sense of who's going to win the starting job, but you can look at it any way you like. You can hit us up today on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010 if you'd like to get in with your thoughts on which battle or battles are you most looking forward to watching play out. How many camp practices are you planning on attending, and will you be taking in these battles in person? Love to hear about that. 641-1010 on the text line as well, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also hop in the YouTube virtual studio, watch the program that way, and interact with the program in the chat there, or you can watch us on X or Facebook, and of course you can find us on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
We need to poo the hell out of that thing.
Hell yeah. Got to get not enough D-Rock, man. It'll be just a couple weeks, man. I talked to DG the other day. He's ready to roll, coming back. Everybody's ready to go. Log him in, the whole crew, as we look forward to getting back to our regular in-season rotation of Jaguars Today co-hosts. Dominique Foxworth talking on ESPN about Travis Hunter. We'll get to that coming up in just a few minutes, Tony, and just how much he thinks he can handle and what the plan looks like from his vantage point. And we will get into our Tuesday top 5 today. It's your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. What are your top 5 most interesting, intriguing training camp position battles that you'll be watching to see play out coming as soon as tomorrow morning over there at the Miller Electric Center? Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. We're off and rolling. Keep it right here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Apex Roofing and Contracting. It's always a good time to make sure your roof is hurricane ready, but with hurricane season in full effect, Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach has your back. In fact, they understand how difficult it can be. It can be expensive, but you can fully finance your roofing project with Apex as well. If your roof has damage, if it leaks, if it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable. They're going to show up on time with premium materials and ironclad warranties. That's Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach, online at apexroofingfl.com.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Saluting the brave men and women who bravely salute our country. 1010XL. We salute you. Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today. 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Summertime is busy with graduation parties, summer barbecues, festivities, family gatherings. The month of July, National Carpet Cleaning Month. So Zero Res is offering $45 per room of carpet clean and 20% off air duct cleaning services as well. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call them 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res. Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World,
simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests. Circa Million, and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Dylan Denmark, how's that leftover breakfast burrito?
It's straight fire.
Was it? Straight cold fire? Is that?
It's barely warm. So it's not cold
well,
yet.
barely warm's not terrible, right?
Yeah.
When's brunch with the tour? That's like in the 8 o'clock hour?
Yeah,
That's
8:30.
That's a solid 2-hour-old breakfast burrito, but you keep it in the foil, probably be all right, you know?
Yeah.
It's not going to kill you anyway. I'm a big fan of the breakfast burrito, Tony. I like all the ingredients. I don't like them all rolled up in a log.
I get it.
You know, I don't know.
I mean, you've seen what I get at Chick-fil-A. I get that breakfast bowl, which is the breakfast burrito, but it's in a bowl. I just don't get the tortilla.
I bought it for you way too many times in the last several seasons of the breakfast bowl.
Yeah, we'll see if we can make it 4 in a row this year.
I didn't hear that, Dylan.
Yeah.
I did not hear that. Tony's playing for his job. I have no control over Tony's job. Hey, but I will fire him if he wins it again, or I'll push for it. Anyway, no, I won't. All right, let's see. Should we go to the phone lines? Let's get a few in.
Yeah.
They're ready to go. Talk a little training camp and what have you. So why don't we start with a little feel-good action over in the city of Gainesville. Our man Byron checking in right now on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Good morning, Byron.
Good morning, guys.
What's up, Byron?
Man, guys, I got to tell you the truth. This is a bad thing because I love y'all, but I hate when you take vacations.
Oh.
So I'm glad to hear.
All right.
I love you.
That's nice, though. We appreciate that because
nice to be missed.
You're the one who misses us. You know, like I love when Tony's gone and vice versa, bro. We are absolutely happy with that. But thank you for saying that, Byron.
Yeah, Logs and all the guys, I'll be glad when they get off vacation to get back. I was telling Pocket, man, one of the few things I get butterflies about now is it's football season. You would think I'm still playing. You know, it's almost like when I got to go play, I get nervous, but I'm fired up, guys. I was in Jacksonville Saturday to my brother-in-law's in the house, and I was telling him if it was Saturday, I would have been to practice. So, you know, I'm kind of computer whatever. So, guys, keep me abreast on the practices, and I'm going to try to get up there and come by the table again. Well, let me get on to what I called about. Guys, I think we covered it last week. I don't really go into the names, but one position definitely is running back. And,
no doubt.
And the O-line. So I'm going to be watching that O-line battle. The running back room is going to be off the chain. But also the safety and the cornerback. You know, Dewey and those guys and some new faces and people coming in. And that wide receiver room might be a little shaky, too. That's about 5. But, guys, I'm telling you, I'm fired up, man. Go Jags!
Come on, Byron. Love it, man. Love to hear from you, buddy. And I always know Byron's going to bring the good energy, Tony. He hit a lot of the good ones.
He did.
Right there. We'll go through our countdown coming up, you know, and like I did, there were a couple that I have multiplayer battles going on at, you know, like I'll tell you right now, I didn't include wide receiver because I'm not as intrigued to me who the 5th receiver on this team, who the 6th receiver is going to be on this team. I mean, look, they're important. It's important to those guys, and they may be called on to do great things for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it's not, to me, as big a deal. And you know, Byron listed at 5th among his is, you know, who the starting safeties are going to be and what's going to play out in the interior of the defensive line.
Well, I think it speaks to it not being on a list like this because I don't have wide receiver on this kind of list today either. And I think it speaks to, look, you'd be talking about the 5th and 6th wide receiver on this team. They have guys at the top of their depth chart that we feel really good about, right?
Yes.
Like going into a season. That hasn't always been the case. So a lot of times at this time of the year, we're like, well, who's the 5th or 6th guy? Because he may have a chance to be our guy, right? Like at some point. We had that kind of in the back of our mind. And can they find somebody? Because I don't believe in the top of this group of guys here in Jacksonville. So someone's going to get an opportunity to shine at some point for this football team. That ain't happening. Not this year. right? Like if you're the 5th or 6th guy, you better be able to play special teams and play
Right,
it
provided we don't
hard.
have a string of injuries, right? Which does happen.
It does happen.
And it's not that those spots are not important on the 53.
But they're not front of mind.
I agree.
For this team here in 2025. And really, as long as Brian Thomas Jr. is here, that ain't going to happen, right? Like, we'll talk about who the battle for, the back end of the wide receiver depth chart, but it won't be who can push somebody at the top of the chart.
Anyone not named Brian Thomas Jr., De'Ami Brown, and Travis Hunter. I mean, if Parker Washington wants to catch a random, if he's going to be the guy who gets the Luke Farrell 17-yarder, right, to start things off and you never hear from him again, there doesn't need to be much beyond that in the wide receiver core with the balls you'll throw to the backs, with the amount you're going to want to run the football, with Brenton Strange's contributions at tight end, whatever they turn out to be.
Yeah.
I don't need it spread out much beyond that group, provided that they stay healthy and perform the way we expect them to, or at least hope in the case of De'Ami Brown. Back to the lines we go, Tony. It looks like Sean on the south side is next up on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Sean, good morning. You're on Jaguars Today.
Fellas, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, man.
Excited for the season, man. I'll be there with my son, Lois Willing, first game, playing Carolina. But I don't mean to go down this roadway, man, but I just can't help myself, especially after seeing his post this morning. But, I mean, we can't kick the tires on Trey Hendricks. He's back here in Jacksonville. We ain't got to go too far. I mean, we can't mess with that and see what we can come out with. I mean, I like Trayvon, but, man, imagine, Trey and Josh Allen, man.
So but hold on, Sean, and we'll give your question the respect it deserves. But what are you doing with Trayvon in that instance?
I would trade him. I mean,
you trade him as part of the package to get Trey Hendrickson.
I would trade him as part of the package. I mean, I like Trayvon. Don't get me wrong, but Trey Hendricks, he's on another level to me, in my opinion, than Trayvon. Trayvon, yeah, he got the power and stuff like that, but Trey, he got the speed and he got the power. And you mix that with Josh Allen, man, I think we'll wreck the league.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Let's weigh in on that, Tony. I didn't know that's the direction it was going to go, because I think that is something you've got to answer if you're going to do that. Here, Trey Hendrickson, by the way, is 30 years old now. So now, granted, he's had the most sacks in the league over the last 2 years, right? He's had 35 sacks. And 2 of the 3 years before that, he was 13.5, 14. So he has been, for the last 5 years, he's been 13.5 sacks or higher. He is, top 5 in terms of sack production?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as sure how well he plays the run compared to that. You have to have a plan for Trayvon Walker. Me personally, I think if you evaluate this roster, most people would say Trayvon Walker is easily a top 5 talent that you have. Yeah. Right? Is he a top 5 best player at the moment? The importance of the position he plays, the age, all the different things he can do. I think you're not going to go very far beyond Brian Thomas, Josh Hines-Allen. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is super important. You just spent a ton to get Travis Hunter on this team. And Trayvon Walker, I mean, would those be the 5 guys that you would take if you could only keep 5 and start from there? It might be very well, right? And I just don't see, we're talking about what is Trayvon going to get? What does Trey Hendrickson want in his dealings, right? Does he want, he's outproduced TJ Watt, right? Does he want TJ Watt money? Are you willing to pay Trey Hendrickson $40 million? Are you willing to give up Trayvon Walker, who has 10.5 sacks each of the last couple of years and more? Because I don't think the Bengals are doing a straight-up swap. Maybe they would to get younger and at least cheaper in the short term. I just don't like it because you're transferring money to an older player. And I think you may be paying for the best years happening in somebody else's uniform.
Yeah, it's an indication, if they were willing to make that kind of move, that they think their championship window is open. That's the kind of move that you make when you feel like a championship window is there. And that's why Cincinnati not finding a way to get this done is kind of mind-boggling, right? That they can't figure it out with it. You've been the only one that's been allowed to talk to him through this entire process. And y'all have gotten so far in the negotiations that he left town when everything was supposed to begin. Right. And
well, we saw what Mike Brown said about Shamar Stewart, and I mean, it's notoriously the cheapest organization in the National Football League, along with Arizona.
Right.
And
so it was like going into an offseason where are they really going to be able to figure out with Chase and Higgins? Well, they did. Right. But the other two guys that they had to figure it out with aren't there. Right? Like they did such a bad job figuring out with the other two that they had to figure something out with that they aren't there. And it's unclear when they're going to be able to get either one of those guys, which are their two guys up front that they'll be relying on in that defensive line. The two guys on that side, they don't even have them in town because of the way that they've dealt with them this entire offseason. They're watching the money go to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and going, what's up, fellas? Like, well, I'm here. It's not like you don't know exactly what I would like to hear you say, right, from Hendrickson's point of view. But it does feel like if anyone's going to be willing to make that move for him, it's because they feel like they're going to win right now. He's the final
piece.
Right.
And if the Jags were at that point, maybe it's something you'd consider.
Yeah.
I think that...
I don't think they're there right now.
You can look at it and say, hey, look, what if Trey Hendrickson had, let's say he shows up tomorrow, and he has 15 sacks this year. Is that out of the question that he has? Like, he had 17 and a half each of the last 2 years. Yeah. So 15 is a reasonable number for him this year. I don't know if he's going to have...
Still a big one, but
right, it's a big number, right? But I think it's a reasonable number. All right, so let's say Trayvon has 12, right? And he plays the run really well, and he's liked by his teammates, and he is less expensive in the short term. Yeah. If you want to push that off for a year, what would happen if Trayvon goes to Cincinnati? Not that it would be our problem at that point. They'd push him out through his fifth-year option, and they'd try to do him on the cheap as well, because they're not going to pay the guy who had 17 and a half each of the last 2 years, not paying the guy who had 10.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be the major concern. I get it. I'm more with you. I don't feel like he's the finishing piece. Now, if you could find a way and you had a plan that could incorporate Trayvon Walker and not waste his skill set and let these guys play all as full-time guys, because I think he's certainly shown that, then you could have a devastating front seven, but what are you willing to pay? You already gave up your first rounder next year, right? So, when it comes to just draft pick compensation, I think it's a non-starter for this football team. The salary cap, you could make it work because you can always make it work under the salary cap. You can readjust a few things here and there, but maybe I'll look foolish a year from now. Trey Hendrickson goes out there and puts up 20 sacks, and Trayvon has 8, right? And he's just a nice player, but that's not me. I'm not ready to go down that road, but maybe you are. If you agree that the Jags should be more aggressive in pursuit of a vet like that, let us know at 641-1010. Certainly appreciate the thoughts there, Sean. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll get back to the phone lines on the other side, and eventually we'll get to our top 5 countdown today of the top 5 training camp position battles through our eyes that we're most intrigued to watch play out coming up beginning tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. What do you think Dan and Jeff would be doing if they were never hired at 1010XL?
We should be pirates, the two of us. Swashbuckling.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Yeah, I'd be good at buckling swashes. Oh, ow.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
The team at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to book your next round of golf with us. At Hidden Hills, we love the game, and we'll provide you with a memorable golf experience at one of the most unique golf courses in North Florida. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com.
How many Grand Slam home runs did Yankee slugger Don Mattingly hit in his career?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
New York Yankees Don Mattingly hit 6 Grand Slams in 1987, but none throughout the rest of his 15-year career.
Southern Oak Insurance.
It's a magical phone line.
Check this out.
It brings you things you can't get anywhere else, like insider insight from sports experts. Listen for the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Check. Every day on 1010XL.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit royalpestservices.com to schedule a free estimate.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I told you before, my daughter Amber is following the lead of Hacker and Mike and Matt and trying to lose a few pounds with Awaken 180. Well, I got to tell you, she's been amazed at the results. Now get this. She's been in the program 3.5 weeks. She's lost 22.5 pounds. 22. It's hard to believe, and she is so excited. There's nothing better than seeing your kid excited. She said it's so convenient. She raves about her coach, who she speaks with once a week. She said the food's terrific, and she's never hungry. Man, she's found a program that really works, and boy, is she excited. If you want to give it a try, call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's changing my daughter's life. It really is, and it can change yours as well. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com. If you're looking for a transformation, now's the time to call Awaken 180.
60 days from now, you'll be one of these two guys. The first guy, sluggish, foggy, and feeling like he just can't keep up like he used to. The second guy, driven, strong, and confident. Why? Male Excel's breakthrough microdosing protocol, a daily low-dose testosterone. You don't have to be the first guy anymore. Be the second guy. Take the same steps he took. Try MaleExcel.com. 100,000 men chose wisely. Your move.
1010X 1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Well, Tony, apparently you and I are in the wrong business, which may be proven every time we talk football. But beyond that, I mean, what is it? Matt Parker and Trey Stone, is that the guys who created South Park?
Yeah.
Got a deal to do 50 episodes for Paramount? 10 episodes a year.
Yeah.
For 5 years, $1.5 billion. $30 million an episode of South Park.
Yeah.
What?
The new season on Comedy Central starts like maybe this week. They're doing like 6-episode runs. That's what they've been doing the last several years. I know they did movie link stuff for Paramount Plus. They've done 2 or 3 that they've done with Paramount Plus. So you have to go to like 2 or 3 different spots to get all the South Park if you want all the South Park. But Paramount Plus apparently feels like that's their cash cow if they have one.
I told you I reached my streaming service limit.
Yeah.
I will not get any more. And the problem is they're all freaking stuck together, right? Like you got the Hulu Disney bundle, right? And it's like Hulu and Disney and Apple TV all together. And I just want to cancel Hulu. Okay? I just want to cancel Hulu. Yeah, yes. There's no cap here. Okay? The Handmaid's Tale. That was the only reason to have Hulu. All right? in our household. Anyway, that series is over with. So my son, though, decided, and this kid, he's like hacker. In some way. He's like hacker. He's never spent a penny of his own money in his life. Okay. In that way. All right. And so he's like, I want to watch some of these shows on Paramount. I'm like, you got an account, son? And so he did. He opened up his own account. So I took his password. And I'm watching things on Paramount. And like Dexter Resurrection. Like, I know people think Dexter jumped the shark years ago. And it kind of did in the 6th and 7th season a little bit, but I feel like this is like a return to the good stuff. It's good, and I'm watching Mayor of Easttown with Jeremy Renner, which is like 3 seasons have been posted on there. That's been out for a while. Really, really good, man. I like it. So I will gladly mooch off my son as much as I can from this point forward, really.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully anyway. I don't know, man. But $1.5 billion for 30 or for 50 episodes of South Park. Should have been an animator. I should have been creative. I should have had talent, Tony.
Yeah.
Would have been much better off financially. All right. We got Leo and Mandarin. Dylan, is that what's up next? All right. Let's go back to the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Leo's going to throw 15 topics at us in about 20 seconds, and we'll see if we can keep up. Leo, good morning. How are you?
Hey man, good morning. I appreciate the time. I'm not gonna do that to you. In fact, listen, throughout the whole break, I said I know how Mike is. So listen, and because that one caller messed me up, because I was like I'm gonna stay on, but I'm gonna just say it like this and be quick. Because I heard you a couple weeks ago saying Trayvon versus Josh Allen, right? And I'm just give me Trayvon this year, next year, the next 5, and I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna just explain what I mean real quick. I'm just confused at how, and I don't want to make this Josh Allen versus Trayvon, but for a moment I have to, because everybody's like, okay, so his first 3 years were better than Josh Allen's first 3 years. Okay, just looking at sack totals, as we look at sack numbers. Trayvon's first 3, he's got more than Josh Allen's first 3, but yet they put Josh Allen and Aiden Hutchinson, this is what my argument's about, in the top 100. To me, the minute Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg, Trayvon won that. Who was the better pick? Okay, our guy is strong and healthy. And also, hadn't Josh Allen dealt with health issues? But I love how everybody wants to just, anoint Josh Allen as the best. And it's okay. I'm glad y'all want to do that. I'm not trying to make this versus him. But I like Trayvon a lot. I don't know why, he's not getting his, due like he's supposed to. I think he's going to have a monster season. And look, the Lions and the Jaguars have 3 light games. They play the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Bengals. So everybody will be able to see right then. We'll compare them. But I still think Trayvon's going to have a much better season.
Appreciate it, Leo. Leo, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Because you said something earlier, to stay on your topic. You said, who are they going to push, right? And I was wondering, why did they bring this Agba guy in, right? who's he going to take reps from? And I like what you said earlier. You didn't think they would take any from Trayvon. I think he's going to take some reps from Josh Hines Allen personally. But I like to take your comments of that off there.
Yeah, all right. Well, here they are. No, he's not. Yeah. I completely disagree. They rotate defensive ends. I mean, no defensive end's going to put, very few defensive ends play 90% of the snaps in the league, right? There's a Max Crosby out there every once in a while, right? But so there are going to be times when one of those guys rests and Ogbo will be in. And on third downs, we'll see how creative they get with their different alignments. Will they put Trayvon inside? Will they overload one side with Trayvon and Josh and have Ogbo on the other, or, some other combination of those players being divvied up? Look, I think most people look at Josh Hines Allen and say he's the better player because his peak season, which was just 2 years ago, was better than anything Trayvon's put out there, right? 17 and a half sacks is a big gulf from where Trayvon's been for the last 2 years. Again, sacks are not the only arbiter of this, but Josh Hines Allen usually ranks really high in pressure rate and all that stuff. It's not like he was bad last year, by the way. He had 8 sacks, and he played probably overweight because that's what the team asked him to do, to bulk up, to be a different kind of defensive end.
And they're both really good run defenders.
Yeah. So, look, I mean, we're not – it's not an either or. You got them both, right? And if Trayvon goes out there and has 20 sacks this year or 15 and Josh has 8 again, then maybe we'll say that Trayvon surpassed him. I don't really care that much, quite frankly. I want great production out of both of them. And I don't think because Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg that means anything in terms of who was the right pick. Aiden Hutchinson still had like 6.5 sacks. Trayvon had like 10.5. Yeah. And Aiden Hutchinson played like 6 games last year. I mean, and so he got hurt last year. Is the rest of his career over? If you told me, he has some devastating knee injury, he'll never play again, then yes. Yeah. The Jags got lucky and they won because of a misfortune to another guy. But that's not the case at all.
No, I think there's a reality to the football world can't seem to see that Trayvon Walker is a good player because he's not Aiden. Right? Like, I think there is something to that.
The broader world outside of Duval.
Yeah, I think in Jacksonville, after his rookie year, we were all wondering what's going to happen with Trayvon. Right? Like, we had very, very real conversations about what's going to happen with Trayvon going forward. They bet on the talent, right? When they were willing to make him the number 1 overall pick, they bet on it. When's the bet going to pay off? Can it happen now, please? And then it has. The last couple of years, he's gotten better and better. Each of the last 2 years, he's going into year 4 now of his career. He has an opportunity to be double-digit sacks for the 3rd season in a row. As we've talked about, there's only a handful of guys in the league that have had double-digit sacks each of the last 2 years. He's in elite company to some degree among pass rushers now, but because he's not Aiden, right, and he's not. Like, we can just watch him and say he's not that. What Aiden Hutchinson is not what Trayvon Walker is. Doesn't mean he's not a really good player.
Right. It's not us trying to drag down Trayvon Walker. It's just it's an objective reality on how they played to this point in their careers.
Right. And we wouldn't be having these comparisons at all. Like, if it had been flipped and Jacksonville had taken Aiden and Trayvon wound up in Detroit, nobody would be going, man, Jacksonville blew it. Right? Nobody on earth
at all
would have that thought about those two. I don't even know that they would be compared ever again. It's that the whole world thought that Aiden was going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, and Jacksonville said, we're taking Trayvon. That's why it's a conversation, even at this point in time. And it's not a knock on Trayvon. He didn't decide any of this. The Jaguars did. Trent Baalke did. They made a bet on him. After a year, it looked bad. After the last couple of years, it looks fine.
Yeah.
And he's a good player.
He's a really good player, and he's among your better players. But
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean it was the right pick if you're picking that position. And look, it's somewhat unfair to me to compare Josh Hines Allen early numbers versus Trayvon. Josh Hines Allen played 9 fewer games in his first 3 years, and you can say, well, Trayvon stayed healthy. Okay, if you want to look at it from that standpoint, yes, he has. They're fantastic. Absolutely, that is true. But
Josh missed
anybody
the one game
can get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody can get hurt, right? So Josh Hines Allen played 40 games in his first 3 years, had 20 sacks. Trayvon played 49, he had 24 sacks. That's basically the same.
Yeah.
To me. So now look, if Trayvon goes
had
out
the Pro
there,
Bowl in there too.
He did. But if Trayvon were to go, and that's I'm not even going to get into that because we know that's kind of out of their control.
It is.
If Trayvon goes out there, as we said, and has 18 sacks this year, 17, whatever, and Josh is still in the high single figures, then maybe the narrative starts to shift that, hey, the power has shifted from one guy to the next. And then all of a sudden, those zeros on that contract probably going to bump up too. Because if that was the scenario, why should Trayvon be paid less than Josh Hines-Allen going forward?
Yeah, that feels like that's one of those scenarios for me. It's not an impossible scenario. It does feel unlikely to me. And look, anyone who's been listening to the show for any length of time knows how confident I am in Josh Hines-Allen and what he can be. And I'm really frustrated with the way that they used him last year and making him put on the weight and taking him off the field in pass rush situations, all the things that happened last year. And if they had kept him on the field for some of that stuff, I think he would have been a double-digit sack guy again, and a lot of the heat that's on him wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
But 8.5 does feel different than 10.
No doubt.
It just does.
It is different.
It's the reality of the situation. I expect that Josh Hines-Allen is going to look a whole lot more like the guy that we saw 2 years ago. I'm not that he's going to have 17.5, but I'd be surprised if he's not pushing 13, 14 this year. I think that's the kind of player that he is.
And look, no, it's not a case of either or.
No.
Again, we did have that conversation. I think you weren't here. Maybe you were here. And we're talking about, hey, for this year, right? For the next 3 years, for the next 5 years. And it's more a case of trajectory and where you see these guys. But I think we all, not everyone, not 100% unanimous, but yes, if I could have one guy for this year, I take Josh Hines-Allen. 3 years is murky. 5 years is Trayvon.
Yeah.
For me. Look, no reason they both can't go out there and combine for 30 sacks this year.
No.
I don't care what order they really, if one gets 20, one gets 10, if they both get 15, whatever. It'd be phenomenal, right? Is it likely? No, it's not. But if there's any point or any position on this team that you're going to have a little irrational exuberance for, it would be those guys or the top of the wide receiver depth chart, you would hope. Anyway, appreciate the call, Leo, and all dissenting opinions will be dealt with. You're welcome to them. That doesn't mean we have to agree. When we come back, Tone, we'll take a look around the league, and then we'll begin the countdown. We got to get through the Tuesday top five. Wouldn't be that hard, I don't think. I think we're going to have a lot of overlap on the top five position battles that we're looking forward to watching play out in Jaguar Training Camp. That's coming up on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods. Man, it's been a long time. I've been talking about Dandy for over a decade. And if you listen to this show for any length of time, you know my favorite from Dandy is their tuna salad triangle sandwich with the blue label. I don't have to think when I reach for it because I know what I'm getting every single time. Consistency, great taste, freshness. I know that bread is going to be fresh. I know it hasn't been frozen, so I'm good with a little bit of an imperfection. If there's a little tuna stuck to the case, that's fine. I'll scoop that out of there with my finger. That's delicious too. There's a lot of different labels out there, folks. Freshness, store brand that. For me, if it doesn't say Dandy on the label, I'm not going to try it. I'm literally going to get back in the car and find another convenience store because I'm that loyal to Dandy. I trust a brand that I've enjoyed long before I ever met the Thompson family, closing in on 70 years as a successful Jacksonville business. When you're hungry in Duval, folks, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. Do it today.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. There's a reason why people love to listen to play-by-play on the radio.
This is unbelievable what we're witnessing. I'm serious.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300. The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Max Fink, and I'm your Gator Updater. Listen for the Gator Report several times a week on 1010XL.
Freshened up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators! Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business. Window World, simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
The flagship station of the Jaguars, WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach, WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
Playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood. What is a gemologist?
Frank, that's a good question because gemologist is a generic title that can be used by anyone, whether they have any gemological training or not. There's also a graduate gemologist, which is somebody that's taken the gemology courses of the Gemological Institute of America and received a diploma. Then there's a certified gemologist of the American Gem Society. They've received the graduate gemologist diploma, have worked in the jewelry business for a minimum of 3 years, and are tested by examination once a year to re-win the certified gemologist title. There's one other aspect that certified gemologists have that others might or might not have, and that's the accredited gemological equipment to be able to make the right grading calls on diamonds and other gemstones. At Underwood's, we have an American Gem Society accredited gem laboratory that our certified gemologists work in, assuring you the quality and value you deserve.
That's Underwood's, Florida's longest-standing member of the American Gem Society in San Marco, Avondale, the Shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
This is your local sports update. Marte Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Rookies and QBs reported in last weekend. The rest of the team reports today as the 2025 Jags Training Camp will get underway on Wednesday. Open dates at Miller Electric Center for all practices. Parking lots will open at 7 a.m. Gates open at 7:45 a.m. and practice is expected to start at 8:30 a.m. Open practice dates will include Wednesday, July 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th, which will be your exclusive season ticket member day. Sunday, July 27th will be NFL Back Together Sunday with a rookie poster giveaway. July 28th will be the first full day of pads. July 29th, August 3rd, and August 5th will also be open to Jacksonville Jaguar fans. Right now, 89 degrees at 10:58. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Every everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, tomorrow's big day, Tone. First day of training camp, no question about it. Also, 30th annual chili breakfast being cooked up by Fan Cam down outside the Miller Electric Practice Palace, as he calls it, on his little flyer that he's made up for this. As he says, to demonstrate the commitment of Jaguars fans as training camp kicks off in the Florida sun. Fan Cam again serving free 13 sausage chili over a bed of jasmine rice. Absolutely freaking delicious. And if you see him, just go on up, ask for a bowl. They're free. Right? It's just for a little fellowship and camaraderie. As
what are you trying to imitate there?
One of our good friends once said, fellowship and camaraderie, put a little sriracha on that chili. Anyway.
There was a time where I had a narrow esophagus.
See? And with the chili is finely chopped and it's fine. Not going to impede you at all. So go say hi to Fan Cam tomorrow. Meet the legend in person and thank him for being out there for 30 freaking years, serving up a little chili breakfast to get things started. Let's see here. Duval Doom says, I would not trade Trayvon. That's crazy talk. Realistically, either commit to moving him inside or accept he's going to rotate if you trade for Hendrickson. I just don't think if you've got
what else you can do to make that move happen.
Okay, if Hendrickson came here, with three of your best players, if you still had Trayvon, would three of them not be Josh Hines Allen, Trey Hendrickson, and Trayvon Walker? Right? And I'm not rotating to the degree that we're talking about to get them all like equal playing time. Instead of playing, like 75% of the snaps, we're going to cut it down to 60 or whatever the number.
No,
would turn
Trayvon
out
would have to play inside.
Right. If you had a vision for that. And I don't think that's their vision. Doom responded, hey, work for the 2007 Giants. Hey, look, the 2007 Giants weren't adding a guy for $40 million at a position where they're already paying a guy near the top of the market and with another guy who's eligible for something in that range as well. So, they did add
Kiwanuka and Umenyiora. They drafted.
Also, let's not forget, if they lose that Super Bowl, Tone, then did they, you know what I mean? Yes, they won it, but they were the 6th seed in the NFC. They got in as the last wild card. And they went on a great run, and that's fantastic. It's not easy to replicate. And just, look, I don't think the Jags are at that point where adding Trey Hendrickson makes them a legit Super Bowl contender.
I don't either.
That's simple as that. So I'm not going to pay $40 million at a position where I feel pretty good about the guys that I already have. And I wonder what that number will ultimately be. But, if he's looking at T.J. Watt and saying he's older than 30 and he doesn't have 35 sacks in the last 2 years. And now T.J. Watt had a 22-sack season or whatever he had. I mean, T.J. Watt's a great player.
Yes, he is.
But Trey Hendrickson can hold himself up and say, I've been as good as anyone in the league as a pass rusher for the last couple of years. So, anyway.
Pay me like it.
It's a good conversation. I just, you're not going to get me to, I don't think that's the best use of resources for this football team. Could it result in another win? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's why you pay good players to come on board. But, again, if you're telling me you're getting, I don't know, some great coverage linebacker or, like a Brock Bowers-esque weapon at tight end or a left tackle that's a 3-time Pro Bowler, you know what I'm saying. A place that would obviously be an upgrade over what they're rolling out. And right now, the Britton Strange stands are out there going, wait, he's going to be exactly that if we give him the opportunity. I hope so. All right, before we go to the countdown, Tony, I want you to tell us what's happening with the rest of the National Football League.
Now, gems around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Bengals owner Mike Brown was asked about Trey Hendrickson as training camp gets set to open in Cincinnati with no extension done yet and said, quote, it's been a long negotiation. Trey is a fine player. He's a good guy. We want him here. Dealing with him is sometimes not so easy, and that's all right. He's got the right to argue his case. We'll try to make sense of it from our perspective. We'll see. I'm not persuaded that it isn't going to get done. As far as I'm concerned, the sooner the better. A follow-up question was asked if he thought Hendrickson deserved a raise. Brown replied, we offered him one. But keep in mind, Trey is signed for this season. Foolishly, maybe, we offered him one, a raise. But anyway, he deserves a Rays, he did well, and he played effectively. He's important to us. Hendrickson, for his part, has apparently left town as he takes a picture from Florida. Manti Te'o said on Good Morning Football today that he has talked with Hendrickson, who said the offer that they are giving him is atrociously low. He has insisted that he will not play this year at $16 million, which is what he's on the contract for the last year of his deal. So nothing getting done there. The other big issue up there, Cincinnati executive Duke Tobin is hopeful that unsigned first-round pick Shamar Stewart will be showing up for training camp at some point, which can be read as a vote of hope of some sort that the deal could be getting close to getting done between the two sides. Stewart did not report with the team's rookies on Saturday. Green Bay and offensive lineman Zach Tom have agreed to a 4-year, $88 million contract with a maximum value of $92 million, which includes a $30.2 million signing bonus. Wide receiver DJ Chark recently had a visit with the Chicago Bears, as was reported by Ian Rappaport. Pittsburgh unveiled their 1933 throwback uniforms yesterday and said they will be wearing them for their Week 8 game against Green Bay. And Phillip Rivers officially announced his retirement yesterday. Said he will be retiring as a member of the Chargers.
Time to have more kids. Settle down. Have a family. Phillip, what has he got now? He has 10 or 11?
Crazy number.
9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
It's way up there.
Yeah.
Good for him. If that's what you want to do and you can afford them, fantastic. Dylan, what are we doing on Friday?
Y'all going to be at training camp.
Oh, are we? Going to be at training camp on Friday. Is that the deal? The Drill and Jaguars Today?
That is correct.
Back-to-back. 6 hours of a wall of Jaguar analysis coming your way over the radio airwaves. Going to be fantastic. Look forward to it. Wonder what it's going to be like out there, Tone, by about 10:30. Honestly, I don't care. Honestly, I don't know where we're going to be set up. I have no idea. But I just like being out there. And who knows? Maybe we'll get a player or a coach on with us after the show, something like that.
Fun. Yeah.
And certainly talk to some of our media brethren out there. It'll be interesting because a lot of times we've done these shows and they've started training camp practice around 10:15, right? So we're out there, we're like, we're getting guys on early. Hey, they're just stretching and doing all this stuff. Now they're going to be into the meat of practice by the time we crack the air. The Drill have been on the air for hours at that point in time. But, so
we're getting that last portion of practice, basically, when we go on.
Yeah, we'll get hopefully some team action and then hopefully grab some targets of opportunity and give you a feel for what transpired over the previous couple of hours on the practice field. So we look forward to seeing all of you out there, as many of you as we can. Like I said, we won't be doing the show out there tomorrow, but I'll be out there celebrating habanero chili for sure. No question about it. All right, why don't we get into the Tuesday top 5 here as we ask you today for your top 5 position battles that'll be waged in Jaguar training camp. Let's get through a few of ours. Dylan, why don't you start us off with the countdown?
Number 5.
All right, Tony, I'll go first on this one. It doesn't really matter, right? We're all going to get them in. I think we're going to have a ton of overlap on this. I put this at 5 because I don't know how much I'm actually buying into it. Anton Harrison versus Fred Johnson for the right tackle position on this team. Anton can go when he wants to go. That's kind of basically the message that's been sent, not only from Liam Cohen, the offensive line coach. I mean, it's out there. You've got all the talent in the world. We want to see you utilize that to the highest level. We want to see you show up every day with the same level of preparation. I'm trying to extrapolate in my head exactly what they mean in a one little sentence comment here, but we want to see you take advantage of this great opportunity and all this athletic ability you have. Let's be the guy that last year at this time, Tony, we're probably talking about Anton, or certainly 2 years ago after his rookie season, as being one of the top 5 keepers on this football team.
Yeah.
Maybe your future left tackle, whatever the case may be, but you don't get the benefit in most cases coming in, especially if you're on a rookie deal, of getting outplayed and having them look at you and go, well, you're still the future. We're going to throw you in there. They want to win now. Offensive line has been a priority for them to upgrade. Again, it's at 5. It's an important one, but it's only at 5 for me because I don't know truly how close this battle is in the mind of the coaching staff. But I put Anton Harrison versus Fred Johnson in the number 5 spot for me.
It's a little bit higher on my list, but we'll get to that. Okay. Number 5 for me, I do have free safety. So it's all 3 of those guys with Ransaw, Savage, and Wingard, right, fighting for that free safety spot. I do think it's a roster battle for Savage. And a lot of it depends on how comfortable does Caleb Bransall look as a free safety, and at what point in training camp does it become clear that he can be the starter at free safety for him if they want him to be. And I think when they get to that kind of point, if they do, going through camp, that Savage isn't going to be here, right? I think that they will move on from him if they are comfortable with Savage and that kind of thing. So it's more of a roster battle kind of thing for Savage, but it's more about the competency of Caleb Bransall making the transition from corner to safety and how quickly that all comes together for him at 5 for me.
To your point, D-Rock's roster projection over at ESPN.com, Mike DiRocco, Jaguars Today, Thursday co-host, coming up again in a few weeks. Here are the 6 safeties he has making the roster. I don't know if they're listed in any particular order, but he's got Dewey Wingard first, Eric Murray second, Daniel Thomas third, Ray Lane, it was his birthday yesterday, I think. Happy belated. Yesterday or the day before. He's on there. Antonio Johnson and Ransaw, and does not have Darnell Savage making the football team. We've seen that becoming more frequent projection. I don't know that that's written in stone at that point in time, but as you said, we'll talk more about that position as the countdown continues. Denmark, who do you have at 5?
I got Anton and Fred Johnson the same. I just wonder, just to make another point to what you said, like, how bad does Anton have to be for him to be replaced at that right tackle spot? I mean, that's really the only thing that I can really think of, yes, he was the only person that was called out, but how bad does he have to be in camp? Or, did he not take care of himself all off season to where he is replaced in week 1?
Right. And I don't even think it's a case of not taking care of himself. I'm like, I don't know. We're all trying to read into these comments, right? Particularly when Liam Cohen makes them. And I think they're saying, we believe he's got the talent to be this guy. So I think he'll ultimately be the opening day starter at right tackle, but it is still up in the air. I don't think it's just being handed to him. Pretty clear from those comments. All right, what's next, Dylan?
Number 4.
All right, let's see. Tony, what do you got at 4?
Number 4 is where I have Anton. I put the odds of him not being the right tackle low, but he is the lone player, as you guys have been discussing. He got called out by the head coach, right? And that's the only player on the roster that got called out.
But
But he's the one that got singled out, right, by the head coach for he can go when he wants to go. And as I've been saying now for a while, with us now on the verge of camp getting started tomorrow, I do think it is one of the most interesting stories going into camp. What does it look like for Anton Harrison? Does it look like he got the message, right? Like, it's not a statement from the coach saying, we don't believe in you. It's a statement saying, show up. Right, like, now's the time. In you. Right, like, we need you to be you.
If you were just a guy, we wouldn't bother with this kind of commentary.
It is we need you to be as good as you can be from the moment we step on the field.
And we think you can.
Right, that's our expectation of you. And it's one of the things that has been refreshing about the Cohen thing is that it does feel like you hear the guys coming off the practice field, you hear the coaches when they're being asked about these things, the players when they're talking, aside from even the media availability on their own, when you hear from wherever they're at, there is an accountability that it feels like Cohen is bringing to all this. We got to watch the Iron Jaguar games, right? Like, we got to watch that, and it does feel like they're trying to figure out ways to create competition in the room as much as they possibly can. And he felt like it was important in that moment to get a message to Anton Harrison, right? Like, and no other player had that going on. It's not are you going to make or not make the roster? It's not that kind of thing. I don't even think it's, are you going to start a right tackle or not for the football team? I think it's a vote of, I think you are the best offensive lineman on the team. Can you show me that?
Every day.
Right. Like, and early on in camp, we're going to get an idea of whether or not the message has been received by Anton Harrison in the way that he carries himself as we get into camp. It's not a roster battle enough for it to be any higher than this on the list for me, but it certainly belongs on the list somewhere.
Denmark.
I'm going to go Mason Smith and Devon Hamilton at nose tackle. I don't think that Mason Smith is competing with Eric Armstead. I think Armstead's going to start. And this was the last position where I had to reach because I feel like my top 3, they're a serious battle. This is I don't think is going to happen. But there's a shot. It's to be Mason Smith in one of the defensive tackle positions with Devon Hamilton.
Will we twin it up on the list today? All 5 in order. We may do that today, you and I. I expanded this to include Armstead in there because I don't know how they're looking at it internally, right? I think Mason Smith is a guy who potentially a year from now you could look at as one of the top 10 most talented players on this roster, right? He could also go the other way and just be kind of quiet and have a few splash plays and be a clear backup and a rotational piece on the defensive line. I think he's got the kind of talent, though, that can push. I do agree. I would expect Armstead to open up as a starter, but I wrote this up to me as Mason Smith versus Armstead versus Devon Hamilton because they're all going to be in the mix. This is more, though, about philosophically, are you going to play 2 guys who most people would look at and say, that's a 3 technique. That's the not the hold the point of attack guy. That's the penetrator, disruptor. That's what Eric Armstead can and has been in his career. That's what we project Mason Smith to be, where Devon Hamilton, yeah, we'll take the sacks and the pressures if they come, but he's more a hold the point of attack, be the front line of your run defense type position. Could they play Smith and Armstead side by side? I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. That's why I think it's an intriguing battle, Tony, to see how this plays out. Or do we see this being a competition where Mason Smith has a chance to push Eric Armstead into more of a rotational role? Again, this is a position where none of these guys going to play 100%, and they'll rotate heavily. And when you get to third down, Tone, what is the combination going to be if Agba does come on the field and Walker and Hines Allen are on the field? Are you playing 5 defensive linemen along with Smith, and Eric Armstead? What does that mean for your defensive backs? Could you just be playing 1 linebacker in that scenario and have a nickel package with 5 down linemen, including 3 edge rushers? I don't know, but to see the combinations that they try to put together and what we're allowed to talk about, too, by the way, because you're not always allowed to talk about what you see, depending on when it occurs during practice. Smith versus Armstead versus Hamilton, for me, is the way I put it. I'm sure you've got something on defensive tackle, and we'll get to that coming up. We mentioned Fan Cam's 30th anniversary chili cook-off tomorrow, coming up at the Miller Electric Center. He joins us now for a quick preview. Cam, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, I hope everybody's doing good.
Yeah, how are the last-minute preparations coming?
Today I cook all day. Everything's fresh. Goes into a tub of ice overnight to bring the temp down, then back up to temp tomorrow for the serving of the chili. I'm looking forward to it. Hard to believe it's been 30 years since Coach Coughlin came walking around the corner at 7:45, and I said, "Bowl of chili, Coach?" And he just started laughing, and that might have been the only time he laughed that whole month of training camp.
All right, so I need to know, because, I'll be out there. The boys will be getting ready for the show. Do I need to bring Tupperware? What do I need to bring to make sure my guys get fed tomorrow?
That's one of the oldest memories I have of the occasion is Mike walking up with his cooler of packaging, making sure he can bring a little of everything home. So there'll be might even be a special treat for you, Mike, based on your particular preferences.
All right, well, I'll leave that up to everyone's own imagination, what those preferences might be. But, Cam, look forward to it, man. In all seriousness, you are one of the beacons in the fan base, man, that we love the consistency, the passion. You've been doing this for 30 years. And, don't be afraid to go make a new friend if you don't know John Port, a.k.a. Fan Cam, and he brings a whole crew with him. They'll be out there with the massive pot of chili. Don't forget the jasmine rice, Cam. I look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow. And what's the number one training camp battle that you're looking forward to seeing play out for the Jags?
I'd like to see the offensive line kind of come together as a unit and go into the regular season with a set line in place that the coaching staff is happy that these are our best guys and they're starting to gel a little bit together, and let's get this thing rocking. All
right, brother. Hey, have a great rest of your day, and don't eat too much. All right, save some for the rest of us, and I look forward to seeing you in the morning.
Appreciate all you guys have done for all these years to help us out with the chili breakfast, and you guys have a great day. We're no longer in the off-season mode, so let's do a real one.
All right, I have no voice left by the end of the week. That's quite all right. Cam, thank you, buddy. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back, continue the countdown of the top 5 position battles for your Jacksonville Jaguars in training camp. This is 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Drinking cocktails with Warren Sapp and smoking stogies with Ed Reed.
What are you talking about?
Former Miami Hurricane Leon Searcy is sharing his best stories with you.
Stories about colorful characters.
Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL. Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Hey, it's Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. And you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at atlanticinfinity.com.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has two epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman.
We take you from the water to the woods on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
I'm Frank Franzi. I told you my daughter Amber has tried Awaken 180. Man, has it worked. You ready for this? After 3 weeks and change, she's lost 22.5 pounds. You should give it a try. 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers. Anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
It's hurricane season. Protect your home with 904 Gutters with a Z. That's right. Z as in zone defense for your home. Water damage hits hard. 904 Gutters with a Z hits back harder. Search 904 Gutters with a Z and make the right call.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with all kinds of sports for kids ages 3 to 17. Fall and winter registration is open right now, like girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of co-ed programs in the Tri-County area to keep your kids active. And being part of a team creates great camaraderie and commitment. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay, sign up now for the fall and winter. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. That's i9sports.com.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we got to get to this countdown, or we're not going to get through this countdown. We'll save maybe number one for the big finale, the big wrap up there, Tony. We could do a whole segment right now and misheard lyrics based on what we just heard Denmark singing in there.
Yeah.
Uwale? Is that what he went with?
He went with
or
something.
Who are you?
Like, it was something weird enough that I was like, what did you say?
What was that? If Tony calls you on the carpet, you know you've messed up. All right, Denmark, where would you leave off in the countdown?
Shoot, hang on.
Shoot, man. It's
Right
number
here.
3.
Number 3.
There you go. Dylan Denmark, what do you got at number 3?
Safety.
Yeah,
it's
you
Eric
do.
Murray, and it's who? I think it's Caleb Ransall. But I mean, it's a couple others: Savage, Ransall, Antonio Johnson, maybe. Yeah, there's a couple others, but it's Eric Murray and who for me at the safety position.
Darnell Savage, if he listens to anything written or said about, he's got to be going, what the hell's going on here? Right? Like, I'm a pretty good player. He was one of the captains, by the way, of the Iron Jaguar games. So that was based more on NFL tenure than anything there. But I have Savage versus Ransall versus Dewey, my twin. We are doing it, brother. I think we might have the exact same countdown here. And I don't know. I'm going to bet on Dewey to open the season as a starter here, right? He's got a little something, man. I think he loves his franchise. He loves playing for it. I think, obviously, that's not enough, right? But I think you watch him in practice, Tony. I was out at a bunch of them. Dewey gets his hands on the football. I think he's smart. He knows his role. He knows his limitations. Obviously, Caleb Ransall is a superior athlete. I'm not talking about just compared to Dewey. I'm talking about compared to a lot of safeties, right? And not a lot of guys have that 4.3 speed. He's supposed to be a really good tackler, and they think him being able to play with his eyes towards the line of scrimmage is going to open things up. They drafted for all this Wyatt Milam talk, they drafted him a pick ahead of Wyatt Milam. Now, they could have taken in any order, but I do think when you do that, there's a bit of a statement like this. If we didn't have the back-to-back, here's the next guy. Caleb Ransall, other than Travis Hunter, was the highest drafted player by this football team, and I think he will be starting before the season is over.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's necessarily going to be out of the gates, but hey, I don't have any say in that. So yes, and Darnell Savage, I'm not going to say he's 100% off the team. I think that's where the media momentum mentally is headed. That doesn't mean it's correct. So, but I'm there with my twin again, Savage, Ransall, Dewey in that safety battle. What do you got at 3?
I think we have cleared the path for it. It's just a matter of how do we order the top 2 between the three of us. But I do have nose tackle 1 technique at number 3 on my list here. And whatever they want to call it in this defense, Devon Hamilton, Jordan Jefferson, Mason Smith appear to be the main competitors for it. I don't think Devon Hamilton is a good enough or solid enough player that there's not the real possibility that Mason could take it, right? Like, it's just a matter of, is he going to be physically able to do what they would ask whoever the nose is in this defense to do? Right? As a run stopper, is he going to be strong enough to take on some more of those kind of responsibilities? I think there's the real chance that Jefferson could take him from Devon, right? Like, I don't think that there's anything written in stone between these three guys and exactly what it's going to look like. I think they're going to have one of them that's going to be the lead guy that when we got to stop the run, this is the guy that we want to have on the field. And there's the possibility that Mason is effective enough doing those kind of things that he expands his pass rush opportunities because he's on the field more, in that kind of role. So it will be interesting to see how they want to, put these guys out there on the field as we get into training.
Yeah, Mason Smith's got to show he can play with that good knee bend if he's going to really compete for that spot, right? He is 6'5", listed at 306. All right, so that's a big man, but that's spread out over a big
huge
frame.
For in there, yeah.
Devon Hamilton's 6'3", 335.
Yeah.
Much more squat, compact type player, which is traditionally what you're going to find.
Yes,
in that
Tommy Mack
one
says he
technique.
plays high too much, and that's why he gets pushed around. Devon does.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. So I do think the battle, even if we made it just between Devon and Jefferson, I think it's a real battle.
I agree. I probably
Right.
should have included Jefferson's name in there.
Yeah, as to who's going to be the, quote, nose, right, for this football team. But it's the three guys that are in there being considered for it.
6'3", 316 for Jefferson, by the way. So kind of a little bit splitting the difference size-wise between Hamilton and Mason Smith. All right, continue on there, young Denmark.
Number 2.
All right, number 2, Tony, I go back to the offensive line. This is just a straight 1v1. And as Jamal St. Cyr weighed in on Twitter, somebody asked, is it possible that we see Milam, Makari, and Cleveland as the interior of the offensive line, with Milam and I guess Cleveland playing the guard spots, Makari playing center?
Yep.
I think it's possible, but I really think Hainsey's knowledge of the Liam Cohen offense is going to give him a big edge at that spot.
I do too.
I don't think it's written in stone, but to me, it's Milam versus Ezra Cleveland. It was interesting watching the hunt, Tony, for the Iron Jaguar games, how early Ezra Cleveland seemed to get selected. Now, there's some editing that goes on, so we don't know exactly, but it made it feel like he came off the board kind of early because people recognize he's a really good athlete playing on the offensive line. But, this is going to be a little bit more leaning towards a gap scheme in the blocking, and we'll see if they're able to do that. Is Wyatt Milam the better, plow horse, the straight ahead masher in there? I think they drafted him again, like Caleb Ransom, with an eye on him starting sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Whether that comes immediately, I think he'll get his chance to show that he's the better option there. So I've got it Milam versus Ezra at number 2 for me.
Number 2 for me, I have running back. ETN, Tank, Tootin. All three will be featured at some point this season in the offense. I do think it's more of a two-man race for the first carry of the season, as we discussed on the show yesterday, between ETN and Tank. There's a natural and long notice thing in the NFL. When it's your guy that you drafted, you brought in, there is a tendency to kind of lean towards that guy. Like at some point, there is a bit of that kind of thing that happens in the National Football League. I don't think that means that Tootin's going to be the first guy that gets a carry this year, but I think they want him to be the guy, right, at running back at some point in this season. The ball security pass pro from him throughout camp is going to be the telling of the tale on exactly what's going to happen with how much they want to get him involved and how soon, because obviously the speed says it's why they picked him where they did. The speed is what gets him in their radar. It's, can he protect the football and protect the quarterback well enough that we can put him on the field whenever we want him on the field, right? And those kind of questions are still a little bit unclear with Tootin at this point in time. I know we discussed it on the show yesterday. I do think ETN will be the first guy that gets a carry this year, but I'm still on the hot hand thing with all three of these guys. I think they want Tootin to be the hot hand sooner rather than happen in week 1, and it is an open competition going into camp.
Denmark, what do you got at 2?
I'm going to go running back. I just think for this question, I'm thinking more of this is a position battle for training camp. I think this is going to be a position battle throughout, most of the season. So, yes, it's still going to be a battle in training camp, but I think it's going to evolve, as we go through, even week 7, week 8, week 9. We saw the emergence of Bucky Irving halfway through the year a year ago, and I think, you can see the same thing here. So if I felt like training camp was more of the onus of, having a main starter, I would have this at 1. But I think this is a position that's going to evolve, and all three guys that we've mentioned are going to play. To what extent, we don't know yet. But they're all going to play, and they're all going to rotate.
Well, you were correct right up until that one, man. And so boo on you for breaking the symmetry between our lists. But I think we'll talk more about running back when we come back in a moment. We got to take our time out here, and we'll do that, Tony. Number 1 in the countdown coming up on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big #1 Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue. Online, super convenient at DuvalFord.com as well. The home of the Ford Pro Elite option. If you are a fleet manager, if you've got a business that has multiple vehicles, you're not going to find a better service department than Duval Ford. Whether you're buying your vehicles, having them serviced, taken care of for life, go with a company that's been in business in Jacksonville for over 110 years. Big #1 Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue.
There are many ways to experience 1010XL.
The key to this whole thing is their computer.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Get me that computer program. Yes, sir.
At 1010XL. Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coating. No massive overhead means top prices on top quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios too.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Hey, Jacksonville, need a fence and ready to save? At Superior Fence and Rail, you'll lock in 5% off your fence project when you sign by the end of July. A limited time offer for savings and peace of mind this summer. Now accepting appointments for a free estimate. So act fast and get 5% off your entire fence project when you finalize by July 31st. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season, and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
Santa Claus normally avoids Florida this time of year, but not this year. Christmas in July is happening right now at Beard's Diamonds. Get up to 40% off now through July 27th. Beard's showcases are stocked with all new fashion jewelry, exquisite colored gemstone pieces, and the best selection of diamonds in North Florida. Rounds, emerald cuts, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ovals, from a half carat to 10 carats and more. Come and find the perfect engagement ring now at Beard's and save up to 40%. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Keep your ball out of the rough with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Get great golf tips from the experts every Saturday morning at 10. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour on 1010XL. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, Tony, on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I didn't see which beat reporter they're talking about, but Charles on the text line said yesterday the Titans beat reporter said he believes the Jags will win the AFC South and surprise everyone. However, the offense will look clunky the first few weeks of the year and get better every game, or was he just blowing sunshine and rainbows at us? Who cares if he was or not? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the Jags are going, well, you know, Jim Wyatt or Paul Kaharski, or I don't even know who's on, you know, whoever
did it
is on the beat saying that, said this. So, therefore, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, look.
Cancel the season. They picked us.
If our offensive line can be a top 15 unit, right? And by that, 15 or better, right? For 14, 13, 15, somewhere in there. And the Texans is what everyone fears it might be, which is arguably the worst in the National Football League. Most people put the Jags roster ahead of Indianapolis and Tennessee right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they can compete to win the division. They just won it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, barring injury, who knows? 3 years ago. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think I think you might start seeing some more of that if you start to hear positive stories about Travis Hunter coming out. And he's going to be such a lightning rod, even though he might not move the needle in the win-loss column as much as you think, just as one player, even though he's going to play both sides of the ball. I think his success is going to kind of extrapolate to people's optimism for this football team, or at least perceived success. Because, again, it's training camp. It's preseason.
Yeah, the first Houston matchup is week 3, right? It's Carolina, Cincinnati, Houston, and then Monday night against Kansas City.
I thought Kansas City was week 5 for some reason. I could be wrong about that.
I forget the order, but I think Houston's week 3. I know it's somewhere in that first month. They have the first Texans matchup.
Let me see here. What we got? First month of the season. Carolina, Cincinnati, Houston. San Fran is week 4.
San Fran.
Yeah. San Fran, and then Kansas City. I thought KC was week 5. Regardless. All right, we got to finish the countdown up here. Dylan, want you first fire up today's 10-10 take?
10-10 take. Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
And where are we at in the countdown?
Number 1.
Yeah, baby, it's all coming together right here. 4-way battle for not necessarily the starting job. It's the running back position for me is at the top here. This is a team that wants to run the football, right? And we've already talked about 2 offensive line battles and how that's going to play into everything that they do on offense, Tony. But I think Travis Etienne's outcomes range from clear lead back on this football team to third down back on this football team to not on this roster this year. I think all the other guys are going to be here. If Tank Bigsby shows he is your most effective runner and you can get something for Travis Etienne, are you going to pay him $5 million to be a backup at a position where usually rookies, if they have it, can come in and play at a high level right away? I do think this is kind of an ongoing thing, like Dylan alluded to. It's not just important who gets the first carry of the season. And whereas you mentioned Etienne, I think right now, if I was going to bet, I think he gets the first carry. I'm more thinking about he'll open up tomorrow as that guy, and then let's let the competition rage. But I agree with you. I think they drafted Bajal Tutin with an eye towards him being the next guy up in line. And you know, it's simple to say our Bucky Irving, because Liam Cohen had a 4th round draft pick who starred for Tampa last year. And there are a lot of traits that they have in common here, but it goes back to what many of us have discussed. Ashton Genty would have been the pick if they didn't make the move for Travis Hunter. R.J. Harvey, they admitted, would have been a guy on their radar. And once he came off the board at 60, they moved out of the 70th pick because they couldn't get the guy that they were hoping to land at that spot. They were looking to actively change the top of the depth chart there. And then, you know, they shifted some other positions. Hey, we're still going to get an effective guy. Bajal Tutin needs to show he can pass protect and hang on to the football. Both of those equally important right at the top. But Bigsby has to show he can hang on to the football as well. We think LaKent Allen, the reputation is he's an excellent pass protector. Can he do more than be a 3rd down option for this team? So I look at it not just as who's going to get the first snap of every football game, but what are the roles going to be for these 4 guys, and are all 4 going to actively be a part of this football team? That's why I have it number 1. It's super important if they can have an effective running game, how much pressure that'll take off of Trevor Lawrence. And then you can start to see as teams say, all right, we got to respect this. Let's move more men up in the box. Now you're hitting them with hopefully Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown, stretching the field, running the underneath routes, doing all those things. Running back number 1 for me. Tony, at number 1 for you?
Number 1, as I mentioned when I went through the running back conversation there at number 2, Tutin, I think, is the guy that they want to be their guy, right, at the running back position. I think they want Wyatt Milam to be the left guard, right? And that's what I have at number 1 is that competition between Cleveland and Milam at left guard. Leon, when I talked to him last week while we were doing Tuesday Top 5 all around the offensive line and talked to Leon Searcy about it, and one of the questions I asked him is who's going to be the Jaguars' best offensive lineman coming out of the 2025 season? And he picked Wyatt Milam. Like, he's that confident in this guy as a player. I think the team wants him to win the job at left guard, and the attitude that he can bring to the offensive line that we've already talked about from the moment they drafted him, essentially, right? Like, to add that to what they have up front, I think is pretty important as an attitude thing for the football team. It's not it's not knocking Ezra for the kind of player. He's a good pro, right? And a capable guard if they need him to play guard for him. But I think they want Wyatt Milam to be that guy. Certainly it is the most open competition on the offensive line is who's going to win that guard spot. And it's between those 2 guys. It feels like there is the off chance that they play McCary at center, right? And that's how it plays out. But that doesn't feel very likely to me. But it does feel like left guard is open for the football team. Who's going to win that job? That's what I have at number 1.
Dylan?
Same. Ezra Cleveland and Wyatt Milam. Wyatt Milam was the 3rd pick for the Jags in the draft at, 88, 89?
Yep, 88.
And they didn't have a 2nd round pick. So they valued a lot in that 3rd round pick that they had, the 2 of them. We all believe Ransaw is going to get a lot of playing time. I think they believe the same in Milam. The only question is, is it going to be day 1? Is it going to be a couple weeks down the road? But yeah, the number 1 for me, biggest training camp battle, left guard between Ezra Cleveland and Wyatt Milam.
Now I have to question myself. Was it 88 or 89? I thought it was 88 for sure. And now I think it might have been 89, Tone. Not that it matters all that much, but it was 89.
Yeah, Ransaw is 88, Milam 89.
88, 89. Exactly correct. All right. So a lot of replication here, but those are the battles, right? It's a matter of how you prioritize them. Jamal St. Cyr, Channel 4, weighed in. He said safety, corner 2. Left guard, right tackle, running back. A lot of what we had, we didn't have corner. We had defensive tackle in there. Travis Holmes, Big Cat Country, went safety, guard, corner 3 and 4, I guess presuming that Travis Hunter will clearly grab the number 2 spot across from Tyson Campbell. Right tackle and running backs 1 and running back 3, meaning your starter and your 3rd down back, basically, there. And what other ones got mentioned here? The return job by some folks. People looking at like Ventrell Miller versus Jack Kaiser, a lot of that kind of stuff. I don't put that higher because I think the amount of playing time whomever wins that spot gets is going to be minimal compared to some of these other spots. But we are ready to get out there and watch it all unfold tomorrow. So with that, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Big Sirs.
What's going on, gentlemen?
How are you, man?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. I like who he's. Oh, Cersei. He's still here.
I'm still here, yeah.
We don't. You probably thought the same thing about us. We don't see each other in the hall.
We don't.
See you out there at practice, I have a feeling, though. What is the one battle that tops your list, training camp position battle, that you are looking forward to seeing how it plays?
Left guard.
Okay.
Ezra Cleveland versus Wyatt Milam. I think the kid, I like the kid from the Senior Bowl. I think he's nasty. He's aggressive. He gets after it pretty good. And I hope that kind of mentality just translates throughout the whole offensive line. So I think that's going to be a pivotal point. I mean, sure enough, the interior of the offensive line is important as well, but having a young phenom talent in that position, it definitely can't hurt you.
Do you think the right guard battle is as open as we think it might be, based on what they said about Anton needing to basically do it all the time?
Right. You talking about the right tackle position?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, when you come off the record 4-13, nobody's position should be comfortable. Nobody should feel comfortable on the offensive line. Hell, at any positions, but especially the offensive line. So, yeah, I mean, Coach took a shot at him. I don't have a problem with that. He said that he plays when he wants to play. That lets you know that he isn't as consistent as he needs to be, and he's going to either show up he's got to show up or get shipped out.
There you go. All right, what's coming up today?
Oh, well, we got, this is going to be very interesting. Joe's at ACC, and I'm here. So we're going to see if we can pull it off the show.
And Matt Hayes in Vegas.
And Matt in Vegas.
So you guys are all over the place.
We are, bro.
Fantastic. I know you can pull it off.
Oh, absolutely.
Big Sir. So we'll be listening. See you out there tomorrow morning.
You got it.
All right, buddy. Good to see you. Leon Searcy coming up with Joe C., Matt Hayes. It's XL Primetime coming your way for the next couple of hours. Get your rest, people. It's going to be hot out there tomorrow. I'm going to be leaving the house bright and early tomorrow, Tony, and enjoying some of that fan cam chili. I'll bring some back for the fellas. That'll do it for us today. For Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, we'll see you all out at camp. I'm Mike Dempsey. We appreciate you listening to Jaguars Today. Back at it again tomorrow from 10 to noon here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever.